And we are back. Quick session run up before everything kicks off. Last time out, you guys arrived in Galemore after meeting a certain drow elf within the certain kind of forest close by, maybe a day's travel away from Galemore. After, jumping onto her roof and falling in, she would not exactly tell you her name, but more so have the knowledge that you would require with regards of the mana steel or the mana stone crystals that you have. In exchange for her services in transforming whatever you require with these mana stone crystals, she asked of you guys to find a certain individual within the city. Someone with a stutter, with a step so kindly to that of a changeling, as she might call him. Although I don't believe she gave you a name last time. You can correct me if that's, right or wrong.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't think she gave you the name of the changeling last time out. But she did say that he could be found within the city of Galemore, where you all promptly went towards. After a quick exploration within the small city, one of you, Juzzo, would find this man working by the post shop by himself in the morning, and soon thereafter, Aldrin, you would track his steps down across the city to find him by the docks alone. And that is where we continue our session. As I will quickly move you to here just so I can check where all of you guys currently are. Edros, and you are by the inn by the port. That's where you are. And as all of this is happening, would you kindly do me a favor and Edros, not Edros, Juzzo and Sarah, put your tokens all the way over here. Just Juzzo and Sarah. As you're all kind of, both of you are kind of out the exit, just a second away from the doors. Why is your HP 10? Huh? Juzzo?
It's my HP 10.
Why is your
Let
HP
me
10?
check my character sheet. What's my HP 10? I never set it to 10. Hey yo.
What was your HP last time?
Character sheet is not loading. I do not remember.
Hey yo. That might
I
be
believe
bad.
we rested, right? Then the next morning you went to
I think we
the
rested,
mill.
yeah, so we should all be full HP.
Yep.
Oh no,
I went to the
technical
mail.
difficulties.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we all rest.
And
Yep.
Aldrin, you can put your token right here.
Who?
You.
Why is it a battle map?
Also, why is your HP 9?
I have no idea. Was I nerfed?
Hey yo, what's happening with the HPs, man?
Your connection to the server has been interrupted. Nice.
My HP here
Internet
is
drop.
51, by the way.
Yeah, you might want to just rejig your HP bar thingy. HP.
I'm
There you go,
refreshing the
that should fix it.
page. Everything's so laggy right now.
And Juzzo, I'll try and fix yours as well before things may kick off. 55 is your HP. Alright. King went down to 1k. Very cool.
Okay. Okay, I regret refreshing.
Now it's not loading.
Alright, I'm in the battle map.
Alright.
I must open my character sheet again.
While all of this is happening, Aldrin and you start conversing with this man. You see him with a very weird expression, turn towards you and look down towards his feet as he begins to just very slowly back away every time you take a step closer.
Don't move. We can talk about this. Don't want to cause a scene.
Step back. I said step back.
Do you want me to reveal your identity or not?
You're working for her, aren't you?
Listen. I'm a man of reason. We're gonna talk about this in a more private area. Hey, not here. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to ask questions.
I'm not going back there. Never again. She's going to torture me. No.
Would you rather have that or be ostracized by the community you just fostered with you?
I'll take my chances. And you watch him almost immediately start darting off in one direction. Time for a chase scene. Everyone, roll me an initiative. He's asking me how I want to create Juzzo. Huh?
I can't even access my character sheet.
How do you want to create this character? Use
No,
the
your
character
character is
mancer.
fine.
Create an NPC.
Close it.
My
Yeah, close
Juzzo
it.
character sheet is just not loaded in. I'm bugged.
Just close it for now and try to refresh because I can still see it on my screen. Don't do it. Don't click anything. All right. And so while all of this is happening, go ahead and roll your
I'm gonna press
initiatives.
nothing.
As I will now do so with mine. Let's do
coming up.
this.
Oh, ping went down.
All right. As you begin to start seeing him bolt in one direction, within an instant, a chase happens. Or if you would rather want to chase him, of course. You know how chase works in D&D?
9.
Alright, so chase participants can freely use the dash action 3 times, plus their constitution modifier. For every usage of dash afterwards, they must pass a DC of 10 constitution check or gain a level of exhaustion. Once you hit at exhaustion level 5, your speed drops to 0 and you fall off.
Okay.
Alright. And as he begins to start running off...
My stuff are back.
Cool, alright. If you can open that to a separate
Should I
tab,
just
it might
press
start
edit
loading.
sheet directly?
I have a question. Could you cast spells or do something aside from running?
Yes, of course you can.
Alright.
You may also notice that on the map, it's 20 feet per square.
That's a really big fort.
As the creature begins to run as fast as it possibly can off towards this direction. So it goes first before anything else. At 1, 2, 3. And one more. Alright, Aldrin, you watch this creature start running off, panting. In every step that you can see, the snow beneath him starts to kind of clump up and compact. While all the other kind of people around him start seeing this happening, you watch the townspeople kind of turn towards you, unknowingly quite curious as to what's going on. Yes, you can use spells. That's already been established. With that being said, Aldrin, it is your go.
Question. The visibility of this map is what I see, right? Like, everything I see
Yes.
here. Can I see like up to here, like pretty far?
Yes.
Do I make out their facial features?
For the most part, yes.
Is this person the same person who was stalking me from last session?
You mean the blonde-haired woman
Yes.
that went in the door? No, it is not the exact same person.
Hmm.
She went within the door in a building close to this direction, though. But it was a separate person.
Okay. I'm looking around, and then I turn to, I guess, this person, and then I ask, "What's up with him?" Pointing towards the man as he runs.
And he doesn't respond. He just sees him bolt towards one direction. Just his eyes start to trail off in that area. What do you do, Aldrin?
Nothing. I'm just gonna watch the water.
All right.
Question, actually, how long do I have until my alter self wears off?
How long does it last?
It lasts for an hour.
At this point, after walking around town, you have about like a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes.
I guess I'll just like look at the beach for a bit and then start walking towards the inn. Not like trying to give chase. At least, yeah, just literally just walking. Where's the direction of the inn actually?
You remember the direction of the inn to where he was going.
Okay, how far can I walk if I'm not dashing?
How far is your movement speed?
30, so 90, right?
No, what? If you're just going to walk, it's going to be 30. So like,
We took 3 dashes, so that would be like 3 turns, right? Basically, movement.
no, that's
Would
just one go.
Jesus Christ, that guy's fast. Okay, I'll just walk.
Because he's chasing.
Yeah, I'm just slowly making my way.
Jozo, is your thing fine? Hello?
Check Ensigns RP.
I see it absolutely fine on my end. I don't know why you have that on your screen. Just click edit sheet directly.
Oh, yeah, click Elder Sheet directly. It just goes back to normal. It happened to me with my one shot. It should be fine once you click Edit Sheet directly.
Roll initiative. I don't think I've heard anything happen.
From where you are? No, you would not have heard anything yet.
Oh god.
And actually, since, you know what? Since Aldrin, you don't give chase to him.
Eh?
Doko.
Wait, that's it?
As the person starts running off away and you start leaning back towards the oceans below you, the very frigid oceans.
You cut off, so we missed some parts.
I'll repeat that. As the person starts bolting off in one direction and you Aldrin, look towards the ocean, sit back for a moment. You lose track of him almost in a quick instant as he continues running off. Far back between your guys' direction, Jazo and Sarah. The two of you see a whole load of people kind of awfully looking off towards one direction within the alleyways of the cities down south. As you're looking down and as all these kind of people, this town folk look down towards that direction, in a curious state, you see them all kind of clump up and just kind of, you hear small gossip. What was that? What? Postman started to run. It's like small gossip of the same kind of manner. But soon thereafter, a minute or so would pass and the gossip would die out. People would start going on about their day.
All right, nice. As I'm walking towards the inn, is it possible for me to slip into an alleyway that I notice is no one's there?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
No. Uh,
You look around, and sure enough, there's plenty of alleyways you can go to. The town is quite very kind of tightly packed. The small alleyways that you can go in between have like multiple intersections, but none of which look like they're occupied at the moment.
right. I find the least, I guess, crowded one with like the least amount of people around it. I enter the alleyway. As I enter the alleyway, I get rid of my alter self and I pass to the other side of the alleyway as Eldrin.
All right. And as you come out with your normal form. You start making your way towards the inn, correct?
Yes.
And there, as you start making your way, like walking off, you see several people, doing their regular jobs. Some of them continue to gossip about what happened earlier, the situation that happened earlier with you. But soon after, you'd arrive to the inn where you would see Sarah and Juzzo both there standing, waiting for something to happen.
Right. Walking up to Jozo and Sarah, I'm like, hello, hello there. What's happening?
Wow, what's happening? They just started talking and stuff, and we don't know.
I
But
had
I'm gonna lean on you and like whisper in a whispering manner. What happened here?
It's best explained in our quarters. We had a room rented out, yes?
Yes, we have.
Let us go in there then.
Alright.
So I invite, since it's like two separate rooms, right? It's me and Sarah and then Jozo and
Yeah,
Juan.
Juzzo and
Andros.
Edros.
So I
Now
invite
Andros is shopping.
Andros is
He's
shopping. So I
shopping.
invite Jozo to a room and explain everything. Basically, I went out as an altered self, snooped around, found him at the docks, tried to confront him, and then he just bolted.
Uh, why did you think it was a good idea to directly confront him?
It was very difficult to approach him any other way. We could have led him, I guess, to like an inconspicuous area, like maybe you want some candy or something. But the problem with that is he has connections with the military, and he might use that to his advantage. I wanted to see if I could use a show of power to. Uh,
But
hmm?
you could have build rapport with him, and we could have got him to get as a party or something instead of doing things on your own, right?
Don't worry, I met him as an altered self. He shouldn't know that was me. I can see him again in another form or as this form.
But where would we find him now? Since
That would be a problem. We will be able to find him based on his lisp, but other than that, yes, we have no more leads. It was my fault.
do you think he would come back to the mail office, or since his cover has been blown or something?
That's a good point. He might want to lay low for a while. Do you know of any areas that one could do that? Have you
Uh,
been snooping around?
only Jozo only told me where he was, so I have I haven't really explored the town yet, and it seems that he can't hear us at the moment.
We
His
can.
connection to the world is lost.
Yep.
What we can do for now is take a rest. Maybe we can stand by the post area uh, to see if he clocks in for the morning the following day.
Ah,
Hello.
Hello.
hello,
Hello.
hello.
Hi.
You, okay, are you fine?
I think I am. I switched my wireless thingy around.
Alright, good, good.
I think I can do stuff now. Oh, what's
Alright.
going on?
Um, I was suggesting that we would just go to bed for the night and then see if we can spot him in the morning. We'll like camp around, like not camp, but like we'll like
I
step
believe
by
it's still morning.
pulse off it. Yeah, yeah. Oh, no, like It's no, it's like in the afternoon already, right? Because like he already clocked out for the day, and he was like
Yeah.
by the port, just chilling. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna rest, wait till early morning, go out to the post office, see if he clocks in, and go on from there.
Hopefully
Should
he
I?
clocks in.
Does that sound good? Sound good? Or
Yeah,
He,
that's good. But if there's like free time or
wait,
something, I would like to go to the blacksmith for a while, I guess, then rest.
oh yeah,
Cause
let me go. Oh wait, no. Do I have? Do I even have a reason to go there?
uh,
Actually, I
did
do.
you
Hmm?
did you meet the guy as you?
No.
no.
I disguised myself. He should not know who I was.
Ah, hopefully he's there then. Unless he's gotten so paranoid that he's probably finding a way out now.
I don't think changings are very common. He might not expect someone of another, someone like who can alter themselves. I don't think he's that suspicious. Let's hope.
Yeah, but
Right?
paranoia or something.
Mm.
He might be less trustful.
Yeah, he's gonna be
Uh,
watching his back.
there is not much we can do now. We could go to the blacksmith. Yes, I believe Edros is there as well.
He might probably run off somewhere, but yeah, we could try.
Very
Probably in a
I
possible.
coma or something.
Yeah, you
uh,
you reach the blacksmith and you find him there with a food coma. Yeah,
uh
but yeah, what do you guys do now?
Go to
I
the
would
blacksmith.
ask the blacksmith about repairing an armor, how long it would take, the cost, and stuff.
All
And I just
right,
want to go there to ask about the Man of Steel. Or no, never mind, never mind. No. I'm not gonna ask. I forgot. Never mind.
good idea.
I'll just see if I could get a hand axe actually,
All right.
because I don't have a hand axe. A second.
Um, so as that whole situation kind of dies down, you all start making your way off towards the blacksmith, or, um, you start making your way towards the direction where you might think there might be a blacksmith. There are several shops that kind of lean off towards the northern section of the city, all of which have like small weaponry, bows, and a few armors here and there that you can buy straight up. But there's also what looks like a large sign of a blacksmith shop.
Ooh, then we enter.
We enter.
And as you enter the blacksmith shop, you do find Edros there, looking blankly into the sky. He
It
seems to
appears
be
he is
camping.
He's reading a book.
I believe this is called the AFK syndrome.
What the
One
hell
of
is
many
an AFK?
diseases.
It happens when you are traveling to a mysterious world called the Hilayan.
You are kidnapped by your own family.
To the
It's a
astral
very
plane.
rare occurrence.
Is there anyone selling the stuff there?
Yeah, there seems to be one particular dragonborn there that is quite happily accepting newer customers, being you guys. He looks off towards your direction, quickly just asks, "Okay, so what can I help you with?"
Do you have a hand axe?
A hand axe, that seems awfully easy to make. Of course, we have a lot of woodsmen here, so that's no problem.
And how much would that cost? Is it order made or do you have one in stock?
I have one in stock, but this one will be costing you a good bit of 3 silver.
3 silver. Can I take a look? May I take a look at the hand axe?
Yeah, he kind of just leans towards the back where there's a bunch of weapons on like several hanging racks. He pulls what looks like a large brown leather bag, which he opens and digs his entire arm into it. It's a bag of
It's a bag of
holding.
holding. Yeah.
As he quickly like pulls out several weapons, you watch him like go, nah. Oh, sorry about that. That's the wrong bag. He turns off towards the right side, where you can now see several more of these hanging racks of weaponry. There he pulls out a simple steel battle axe. Or rather,
Battle
a
axe is
hand
different, right?
axe.
Yeah. So, can I inspect the hand axe to see the quality of the weapon.
All right. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Not investigation.
Investigation would be to figure out how things work.
How does a hand axe work? How is a hand axe?
Philosophical questions. Right. As you're looking at the hand axe itself, it seems to be a much higher quality than the hand axes you usually buy off in normal shops. This one is of a, let me check that real quick. It is of a reliable quality. This weapon,
What's,
reliable means that this weapon can be used to reduce the effects of 2 critical hits to normal hits before it downgrades to a quality standard.
Wow, that's actually really good. And I look at it and I say, and you're selling this for 3 silver?
Yeah, of course. Nothing like a simple, reliable hand axe.
Damn.
Very well. I'll buy this from you.
And how much are you giving him?
You know what? I believe this hand axe is worth far more than 3 silver. I will give you 5.
Ooh.
He gives you a quick bow. I'll take it as a tip. I'll remember your face. What's your name?
Aldrin Nerwit. I'm a blacksmith myself. If you need my services, you need only ask. I'm here for only a time, but if I'm still in town, then I can help.
Well, if we have anything in need of more blacksmithery, then you'll be the first I'll call.
Thank you.
Do you do repairs on leather armor?
Leather armor friend. Unfortunately, I used to have a ward that used to work here. An elf by the name of Yelleneth. Fortunately, she's no longer here.
Yelleneth. We met her in I still cannot remember that town's name. Jormungandr.
You're on their hook.
Jorundarhog, yes.
He kind of looks at you with a happy smile. Oh, how is she? How's the town? I haven't been there in a month or 2 myself.
The town was raised by orcs.
Yeah, that town's not in good shape.
Oh,
We saved the village though.
ah.
And as you can see right here, I like show off the winter wolf coat. She's still very good at working with leather.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. Glad she's alive through all that. Orcs are the last of the many worries that we have here in the Everfrost.
You tell me.
Do you repair scale mail?
That I can work on, of course. What are you looking to offer with that? We don't have a
Much are the
standard.
rates?
We don't have a standard price for repairs on these types of armors. We usually don't have adventurers off here. We have guards. We have worksmen, but scale mail is not often used.
5 silver?
Looking a little low there. How about 15 gold?
15 gold?
Sarah, may I take a look at the armor?
Sure.
Can I inspect the armor
you
to
want-
see how good of a condition it's in?
Let me check my notes on the condition in Sarah's armor.
I guess scale mill is pretty strong.
If we are lacking
Um,
scales, we can use yours, Jazzo, yes?
Eh! I'll
Yo.
punch you. Don't do it.
It will grow back. No problem.
His armor has seen far better days. Compared to yours, which is only slightly damaged, his may just be on the brink of destruction.
How's mine doing?
Yours is similar to the rest of the group.
My hardened leather is still fine though, right? Or what?
It's still alright, but it could do with some repairs.
I should be fine. I have my winter wolf cloak anyways. Well, that looks like that's not something I can fix in a day. You will have to rely on this man's services.
Could you offer another lower price? Because we just got here.
Actually,
And you're
while he's asking that, do I know that if 15 gold is like worth that much of service, or is that like overpricing?
That's not overpriced. That's underpriced.
Oh,
The
just
regular
like
rates for fixing stuff like that, especially with higher tiers of armor, is 25 gold upwards.
I turned to the Sarah. You're getting quite a bargain here, you know.
uh,
Tara, how much gold do you have? I can probably help with the pay.
We are actually quite short of gold.
uh, I have 30.
Wait.
You've been hiding this from us. This is a new revelation.
No?
Hmm.
I only have 12 on me.
Aldrin
No,
will
well,
remember that.
30 No, can I ask my fellow adventurer here, Edros, uh, what was he doing here before?
Edros was trying to buy some weaponry and or fix his shield.
Ah, I see. 15 gold. How long would it take for this to finish though?
He looks at you and goes, well, it's absolutely seen much better days. I can do it for a day and a half.
Hmm. Uh, Apart from repairing this, do you by any chance sell long bows?
Oh, bows themselves, I believe there is let me see, we have a huntsman by north, near the guard's walls. Of course, that's right beside the barracks, if you haven't entered that area yet. I believe, yeah, that's a Fletchery. Sells arrows,
So,
bows, and all those hunting materials that you often need.
hmm. I would like to consult Alden for a while. Based on your assessment, how much do you think this armor could last?
May I
Blacksmith.
make a perception check?
Here, blacksmith. Right?
You can make a Arcana. Wait, no, it's a regular intelligence check.
Intelligence?
Yes, because you are using that
Save,
for your
sorry. Save.
check. Damn. You're looking at it, and it has seen all of your armors has seen better days because of the weather that's currently here. The protection of the coats that you have is all right, but it's been taking a toll on your armor itself. It looks like it might just last him perhaps a day, or if you're fighting something large, probably one hit.
But if
Mine, can I check mine and Edros and the Juddles as well?
Yeah, you can. I'll keep your roll for that. You're looking at all of the rest of your armor. The rest of the group has similarly slightly damaged armor, but it looks like it could last several weeks if properly cared for.
Okay, so it's only
Okay.
Sarah is the problem. Turning to Sarah, I'm like, I highly recommend you buy a new setup.
so if I were to buy, how much would it be? Or do you only offer repairing?
Oh, if you're to buy, I believe I do have some in stock just off to the side. Although, what size are you?
You're not supposed to ask a woman her size.
I'm sorry, it's standard procedure with all of these.
I'm 5'10", medium probably. I'm 5'10" in height.
An
Yeah,
elf
I'm
is
size medium.
5'10". What the?
I'm 5'7". I'm sorry.
Oh,
5'7".
you're short
You're
for an
a
elf.
Medium.
You're rather
I'm
short
medium
for an
size.
elf.
My height?
That is quite short for an elf.
Oh, we're the same height.
So it's not a Western elf. It's like an anime elf, which is like
Yes.
True.
Yeah. Okay.
But he kind of looks at it and goes, I do believe I have one in stock. Let me check real quick. In the meantime, if you find anything here that may catch your eye, do call upon me and I will come right back. You watch him kind of start walking off towards the backhand side. You're saying?
as he's doing that, may I check for any cool bits and bob, little trinkets,
Of
ores
course.
or anything that are like interesting.
Something that may interest you, among the many things that are off here, he seems to be selling a lot of adventuring gear for the most part. You know, block and tackles, chains, hammers, a larger hammer, or what you would call a sledgehammer, hunting traps, all of that kind of deal. He also sells several kinds of weapons: longsword, morningstar, pikes, rapiers, and what looks like a few shields of larger sizes. On the right hand corner, you find what looks like a few bits and bobs of, you know, extra adventuring supplies like bedrolls, candles, all that. And for the most part, it's not a very heavily stocked blacksmith shop, but it's good enough for regular travelers, you know, worker travelers that come out of the city to work and then come right back.
Any like precious ores or like any striking, for example, like any craftsmanship that like I don't recognize. Maybe it's like made from like a different race or anything that like I've not seen before. Things like
Go ahead and make me a perception with advantage, because you're looking for something specific and everything's right on uh, display.
Lord help me.
10 with advantage. Um, yeah. You do find one weapon in particular. It's that of a trident. It seems to be made um, in a style that you're not quite used to. Oftentimes, tridents, you know how regularly shaped they are. You know, they're just regular forks that people use as fishing poles, essentially. Those three-pronged fishing sticks. This one looks awfully strange. On the tips of the left and the right hand side, it looks almost like a harp's curve. If you can imagine like a harp, where like both sides of the harp kind of turns, or not a harp, a lyre, I believe, a lyre. Where both sides of the harp, the lyre turns and curls. That's how it looks like, but the very front, the middle kind of edge of the blade is very sharp and very thin. It's strange, and you haven't seen any kind of craftsmanship ship like it.
Interesting. Wait, let me roast. I'll keep that in mind as I wait for the dragonborn to come back. Everyone else?
I myself a weapon, but I've been enjoying this stuff.
Yeah, your
Um,
staff, by the way, is broken. Or I mean, like in a really good way.
mhm.
You're right.
Not like broken, broken.
I was worried for a bit.
But eventually, after some time passes, and as all of you are like looking at what's on display, the dragonborn does come back with what looks like a set of scale mail. And he looks off towards the group, looking for the elf that was asking for it. Who was asking for this again? Sorry, I often forget.
Me.
Yes, I had an attached price tag of this. It was supposed to be bought by one of the villagers in the town that you visited, your Delholt. Unfortunately, the villager never came through, but I did write this down as 38 gold.
If I were to give my old armor, would you reduce the price?
I'll
It's
reduce it
giving
by
your old
2.
iPhone. It's like giving your old iPhone.
I'll give you 36 for your old armor. I mean, as broken down as it is, I can only probably get like 10% of the ores back from that.
What's the difference between my armor, my current armor, and the one you're selling?
Well, for the most part, this probably is a bit larger for your size, but it could fit with a few adjustments here and there. This one's steel, and well, nothing of too much difference, of course. Although I would
I
say that in
have a-
quality-wise, it's much better compared to yours.
I have
But
a
it,
mace. Can you do something with that? Like melt it down or something?
I'll buy the mace off of you if that's what you're asking.
Ah, sure. How much will you pay for it though? Just the standard mace. That is just a mace. The most basic one ever.
Um, well, I'll buy it for you for. Has this been used? It looks like hasn't been used in a while.
It. Yeah, I've hit like one or two with it, but I haven't really swung it much.
I'll give it to you for. I'll rather take it from you for 7 gold. How's that sound?
Ah, it's pretty good. Sure.
All right. And you watch him kind of reach out, open his palms towards your, your weapon. Give it here, and I'll trade you for it.
All right, here it is. I hand over the mace for 7 gold.
Yeah. And he
That's a
gives
pretty
you a
good deal.
small coin pouch of 7 gold.
I think I would go for the 15 gold repair instead of buying, if that's okay.
Yes, no problem. Although you will have to wait a day and a half, if that's
Hey.
not too much of a bother.
That's all right. I think we'll explore the town in the meantime. We're not looking for trouble anyway, so.
Trouble will find you though.
Yeah, you better not. Guards are on point this time around. They are very up and at it with them ears. Things in trouble and all that.
By the way, do you have an Adventurous Guild here that we could visit? Probably take up some missions, something for a while. Since we'll be staying here for a while.
Unfortunately, you are about a week and a half away from the closest Adventurers Guild we have.
Is there any way we could earn some money using our skills, perhaps?
If you're privy to working the fields, there are some farmers that require a few helping hands, and I believe he kind of scratches his head for a quick moment. I believe the guards were looking for extra hands with gossip about some things happening on the far edge of the city.
We might help with that. Where would we go to inquire with this?
Barracks. That's where all the guards usually hang out, so you'll find them there.
Do we need to look for a specific guard, or do we just go in the back?
I wouldn't know myself, but I'd throw in the towel with one of the guards.
I see.
Shall I go help with the farm? Maybe I can like get a few rations out of it as well.
Maybe we could all help it since we won't really do anything, but we might try to go to the barracks first, then the farm.
Sure.
But where's the farm near? What's the nearest like landmark or something to the farm?
Yeah, it's right across the bridge by the river. You won't miss it. Large open zone. You'll find a few Brandom there actually, if you know what they look like.
I not sure. So I remove my. Oh god.
Oh god. Ooh.
I go somewhere.
Huh?
Yo,
Then give my armor. I'm wearing.
is it
Yeah.
your armor like you're
Clothes,
traveling
though.
clothes at the same time?
No, I have a coat. I have extra clothes with me too.
You're taking it off and like Kira's whisper plays in the background. You're like, yeah.
All right. So while you don't have any armor, I believe the standard armor for cloth. Let me check this
She
real
has
quick.
she has the bear coat. She has the bear coat.
The bear coat doesn't really do that much in terms of
Okay.
that.
I just wanted to give her.
It's 10 plus your dexterity.
12. Oh, I'm like Juzo now. Oh no.
While she
What's wrong with being
sleeping,
me?
while Sarah's like
Oh, I'm
sleeping over
actually
there,
13.
I would like to inquire about the trident. Walking up to the dragonborn, like, this trident. Where did you find this?
Oh, that one. If you've ever heard of this one particular tabaxi trader, he runs off from the Everfrost down. He runs a large merchant guild. I forgot what it's called, unfortunately. They have the symbol of an emerald and all that. Very fancy guild. They usually sell trinkets like these once in a while back here, and I bought it for a handy price.
Uh, while I'm talking about to this, can I see if there's anything special about this trident?
Looking at it like just straight up, you already basically see, you know, all the craftsmanship and all that. For the most part, it looks sturdy, but you'd have to take a little while, like a few minutes, like 10 minutes to check it, what it can actually do.
Uh, I asked the dragonborn, could you give me a bit of time to inspect this? I won't do anything with it. I'll stay in the shop. I just want to inspect it.
No problem. I can see that you have an eye for the strange as well, so take all the time you need.
Thank you. And I just stare at the trident very intensely.
Our elf friend here has a metal fetish.
What?
Ah, I see. Um,
Might
no
stab the
worries
fish with it.
of that.
I'm
But
not
yeah, you
interested.
you take a while to just kind of look at this thing. Do you have any spells that can help with regards to that?
I actually do, I believe. Give me a sec. I use the power of magic and cast Identify.
Ooh,
Nice.
very cool. That, dear sir, after a while you kind of
Wait,
take a
sorry,
look
wait.
at this.
Wait, there's a
Oh,
material
it
component
needs
into the pearl.
a pearl.
Hmm.
You cannot do that then.
I cannot. I just stare at it for a very long time.
Yeah, sure. You take a while to just kind of take in what it looks like, and you notice bits, more and more things as you know, watch it. Um, the trident itself looks like it's covered with several shells almost. If Edros was here, he could probably tell you what all of that is. But the tips where those kind of curl around, the left and right kind of spear tip, um, is not actually a blade. It's like a very sharpened, almost octopus like tentacle.
Oh wow.
And the very thin blade in the middle is not also a blade. It's a very thin coral piece
What the hell?
with several small shells and a large conch shell that connects the top half of the three blades to the spear handle. It's a very fishy looking trident.
Turning to the dragonborn, I ask, how much would this trident cost?
Well, I haven't really used it, so I can't really put a price on it right now, but if you're offering something if you're offering something, maybe we can strike a deal.
I only have a handful of gold with me, but I do have this, and I show off uh, my my black steel hand axe. It's a hand axe of my own creation.
And he also kind of leans forward, like squints his eyes, making sure that he's looking at it right. Well, you look at that. The only black steel we have here are from miners, off towards the northwest. All working to dig up their own kind of ore. Ice metal, they call it.
Nice metal.
Is that like the opposite of black steel?
One can say it has properties that chilling to the touch. He kind of laughs.
Where could you buy this ice metal?
Like I said, only few mines here that mine that particular ores in the northwest.
I see. I would like to. So for the black steel hand axe, how much would you know, how much would cost? I can add extra gold for the difference.
Hmm. Give me a quick moment to inspect your hand axe.
Very well. I hand over the
And
blacksmith.
all right. And he kind of reaches out to it and he looks at it for a quick moment. Meanwhile, while all of this is happening, you all are exchanging. What is the rest of the group doing?
I'm just looking at them since
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Aldrin since I don't really have anything to
I'm
do.
just doing what Tedros is doing. So. Looking up the
Looking
sky.
at this. He kind of looks at it and goes, well, I can
I look at him.
give you a very fine offer of about 300 gold for this.
Damn.
I
Magic
maybe
item.
few gold. Maybe a few. Unfortunately, I cannot buy this from you.
Well, if you ever have the money in one of these days and you're still around in the Everfrost, you know where to find it. You know where to find me.
Turn to Jozo. Jozo, may I sell your arm?
Don't do it, I'll bite you.
Very well.
It's fine. A little bit of damage is worth it for magic item.
We saved your life. We can take it again.
Hey yo, turning the party for gold.
Thank you for your services. We will be on our way.
Jozo's
Alright.
gonna be gone in the next day.
You see by the next day you see a lizard that's hobbling around with one arm, one leg.
Missing one kidney.
Right. So, as the man kind of starts repairing your scale mail armor, and you continue off towards the city, and where might you guys be going?
Barracks.
The barracks, right?
Yep.
All right. So I'll move your tokens quickly over there. It takes you a good maybe 20 to 30 minutes to actually make it all the way there because it's a very wide space to get there. After a while, you do see that the guards that were usually here, Aldrin, when you were here like earlier in the morning, they've actually already dispersed out, and there seems to be a whole deck of exit cards left on the table, currently in play. There seems to be, they seem to have stopped playing in the middle of what looks like a winning hand from your eyes. Yeah, one guy already has 2 brutes. He has like 2 buildings already, and the other guy has nothing. So that's like a clean sweep very soon. But as you kind of continue in within the gates, you see that there are a few guards posted outside of the main castle itself. Not really a castle, more like a small fort building. Where then you see these guards kind of making their way out, and they see you kind of making your way towards them. They stop you for a quick moment. Excuse me, what is your purpose here?
We heard from Blacksmith that you were inquiring help regarding some gossip, and I think our friend here has some information regarding that. If you're thinking of the same gossip or something.
And this information is, and he just kind of turns towards the rest of the group.
Maybe first ask what gossip were you asking information about? I mean, yeah.
Well, there is only one particular thing that the guards have had a doozy with, let's say. Previous nights, we've had a few encounters with rather strange creatures coming from the old mines up north. Some say that they're being summoned by dark entities. We don't really mind or care since the town itself, the city itself, hasn't been attacked. So we don't care. But people are getting worried, and apparently the other day, one of the woodsmen we have here, his name is Terrence. He came back with a few bites and scratches. Nothing demonic or unsettling to me. Seems like he got attacked by a wolf of some sorts, which is absolutely common here in the Everfrost. But if we could have some extra hands to help out with that, I believe the town, well, the current chief, let's say, because he's no longer, the elders died, as you may have already heard if you're from here for the past few days. But yes, the current chief is offering a handful sum of 150.
150 gold total.
Yes.
For information or for killing whatsoever's attacking? What that exactly is asking about?
Well, since we don't exactly know what it is, for now information will give you 150. You come back here, tell us what's going on. If there's a follow-up with that, that's completely up to the chief.
Where might we find this Terrence guy?
He should be in the upper ward, third building down south.
And is he the only one with the current encounter with this thing, or do you know other people?
Yes, there is the halfling. They call her Maylene. She is a alchemy trader in the trade district.
Trade. So I consult the party, and so what do we do? Do we go to the farm or do we take this impromptu quest? Maybe.
Before we do anything, Aldrain, do you still remember that the name of that very first girl that pretty much started this whole thing, like the quest
You know,
from the Compass and Atlas?
it has been a long, long time. I do not remember.
Do you at least remember her name?
I do not.
I think it's a sweet dessert. It sounds like a sweet dessert that's made of
Noodles?
caramel. No, I'm just giving a hint. It's a dessert that's made of caramel. Often in bite-sized pieces.
Leche flan.
No, it's not caramel, it's egg though. What do you mean?
There's a bit of caramel on it.
Oh no, it's a bread, JK. It's a pastry.
Ah, yes, Miss Baguette.
Yes.
It's a dessert.
You guys. I'll let you guys roll a history check if you want to try to
Miss
remember.
Muffin.
But it's a
Oh, guys.
disadvantage.
Hey, I gave him a hint. It should be a
Sarah, it's herself doesn't know nothing.
Boom.
Ooh, boom.
Hey, yo.
Got it.
Damn.
All right, someone write this down in their notes.
I am right now.
Blair. See?
That's
How
a
does
food.
that sound like pastry?
It's eclair. Huh? It's an eclair.
What the hell is an eclair?
It's a bread. It's chocolate on top.
You're right.
I
That
have
is
no
actually
idea.
a
You're too
bread.
refined for us.
That is I think that's if you've eaten Krispy Kreme, which is a donut, it's those long donuts with like
Yeah,
chocolate
it's the
on
long
top.
john.
All right, so can I toss this pyro paper in the air now?
If you want to, go ahead.
I will do that. Pyro these nuts.
You're right. You toss this pirate paper in the air, and within a few minutes, you get a response back, which is one phrase, basically, a very quick phrase. Where have you been? Come back to the guild.
I have
Just say
written that
no.
down in the summary. We're at the Everfrost of the one of the contents that I wrote
Uh,
down.
That's
yeah,
the reply that you get, even though you've already basically told.
Well, I can't really do anything about it right now, so
I,
I'll just keep the
I
pirate
die.
paper. Eh?
No. That's out of character. I can't.
From the guild. You're fired. You're useless. Alright, back to the topic at hand. Should we do this whole quest thing or
Uh, we could, or we could also try to inquire about the farm. So,
Remember what we are here for? We need help with the,
yeah, but I think this is
I think
also a good chance for us to build up our reputation so that they would
yeah,
be
like
more trusted. Yeah.
Do you
So
think
that
we'll ever come back here though? What reputation are we trying to build when we have no reason to come back?
so
well
that when we
we can
meet him, we would be more trustful, right?
yeah, we can
We're not
make a
like
name for ourselves here. Also, he'd
yeah.
probably be panicking at the moment, so
Very well, very
probably
well.
gonna lay low.
Let us do that then. We would make some money on the side.
Yeah. Guys, question. I forgot where Terrence lives.
What now?
I forgot where Terrence lives.
Who is this Terence?
Forgot. It's the guy who was
God.
bitten by the wolf thingy.
The collective memory of a goldfish.
My brain is rotting every second. Just saying.
I know Maylin is in the trade district, but I forgot where Terrence lives.
Well, if that's okay, can you guys get that sorted out? I need to visit something of a personal matter. Something I am being followed. It seems in this town.
So, Jozo, do we go to the farm or do we?
Well, I guess we can go to the farm for now, since we're gonna be, split apart for a bit.
Uh, so we proceed to the farm near the bridge. Or,
The farm near the bridge.
Yeah, and that is right across to the southern side of the Bronze Arc district. Where you also, once again, you take about like 20 minutes to go from where you are to over there. And there you can find large fields like sprawled in between buildings. Like the fields are surrounded by buildings. And you can see a few farmers outside. Like some of them are reaching down towards the docks, getting some water by the side, and what looks like, for the most part, carrying a few crates of wheat, barley, all those kind of things that often don't really grow well in this kind of region. But it seems as though they figured
Damn.
out a way to do it.
Damn.
You see a lot of brandum by the side, which at this point, you, Sarah, would probably remember the brandum from your previous adventures.
yeah.
Because that's canon now.
Almost killed the.
What's canon
that's-
now?
And you
I
see
remember
a bunch of these brandum working hard to make sure that the crops that are around this building, around like surrounded by buildings, are quite well kept. Some of them are eating through what looks like bits of soil that has snowed through. Some of them are like shoveling with their horns, and now that they can actually be seen, because I found a good look for them, these are what brandums look like.
The cows, right?
Like,
You don't know that? Yeah.
tiger
Technically,
wood
I would know
cows.
that. Whoa, those things are
Oh, they look
badass.
so
Can I-
cool.
Dude, I'll ride one with my white wolf cloak. So fucking cool.
So cool.
But yes, for the most part, Sarah, you know that brandum are often used as mounts, very strong and hardy mounts across mountainous regions, and often for farming, because they are awfully smart when it comes to plant life.
Wow.
Yeah. While they're by the way, while they're there, I'm gonna be looking for this right. The elf who is trailing me.
All right.
Actually, I'll do that. I'll do my bit later. They can do this. Stay here.
Yeah. So as you make your way off towards the farming area, what do you two do?
Do we see do we see some nearby farmers, or could we
Yeah,
approach some?
you saw a few like carrying crates of wheat and barley. Some have already made their way towards what looks like a very large windmill that's not exactly powered by the wind, more so the water that's right beside it, the river, the flowing river. And yeah, you see their people are hard at work.
Could we try and approach someone who's not that busy so that we don't really disturb them?
Yeah, you see a semi kind of old man wearing what looks like a very heavy coat over his body. He has those rakes, very tall rakes, very wide rakes that he is kind of leaning across like while he's looking over the field. He notices the two of you approach him and he like almost cautiously turns off. Um, Sorry, can I help you?
Uh, do you want to do Okay.
We heard you needed some help.
Ah, you must be the farm hands that we called for the guards to look for rather.
Not exactly, but we would still offer our help.
Oh,
We heard you're asking for help from the blacksmith.
then yes, we're looking for a few helping hands with a few problems that we've had. 3 of our Brandem are sick, and we were looking for anyone that may have the knowledge to help our creatures, our very lovely creatures.
Well, I can try, but I don't think I can really help
Uh,
much with the sickness itself.
I know some healing spells. Would that work? Or I mean, I could try helping, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah, at this point, we're just looking for a few helping hands to make sure that they're all okay. We don't exactly have a healer in the city, so anyone that has any knowledge with any poultice or any kind, we'll take.
do we accept? I could try.
We could try. There's no harm in doing so. Unless they like
We could
kill
try
themselves
helping.
because they hate us or something. I don't know.
Nah, they're good. They're smart. I think.
Let's go try it out then. Where will these animals be?
Oh, they're off in a barn. Come with me. And you watch him like very slowly, like his back is arched while he's walking off towards one of the larger buildings near the dock area of the southern side of the district. There, he opens up 2 very large wooden doors that lead into several stables, like several sides where the Brandems usually probably sleep and eat. 3 of them in the far back corner of this building look to be all on the floor, writhing in pain and also breathing heavily.
I'm going to approach one of them, but I'm just gonna kneel down next to it for a bit, like get its attention, but not like spook it or anything.
And as you start like making your way off towards there, the old man that's right beside you kind of leans back. Yes, we were. A few of our men here went out to the outer fields to see if we could find any more, wild growing, herbs and food that we may add into our collection. Perhaps we could germinate them and plant them here. Unfortunately, during the night while they were taking camp, they were attacked. One of our farmers, Terrence, got attacked as well.
Oh my.
I would try to approach the animal carefully and like gently, I guess, then touch him with speak with
Um,
animals.
Same here.
as you
Same
get
here.
as you get closer and closer, as both of you, before you cast the spell, as both of you get closer and closer, you see the Brandon, their eyes kind of immediately turn towards you, their horns perk up, you watch them start getting back up with what little energy they have, and like almost push you away. And if you
I'm
get
gonna
too close to it, it might get hostile with you.
I'm gonna just like take a step backwards and just sit down next to it instead. Just like gain its trust for first.
Yeah, yeah, same. I I think yeah, we don't need to touch them to cast this, right? So we just
Yeah, you don't need to touch them, but you being close is enough for it to start looking very hostile.
so we're gonna back up, then we're gonna gesture that like to calm down, like a dog or something.
Yeah, make me Sarah, make me a animal handling
Oh
check.
god, oh god, it's the worst. It, oh god, it's the worst.
Sounds
When you
about
like
to get
when you
stabbed.
gesture for it to calm down, you watch this large Brandon get on both of its get on like its entire weight upwards, and as quick as it possibly can, it charges down in your direction, hitting your right side almost with a quick blow to your shoulder. With that, let me check what happens with you.
That
As
just happens while I'm just sitting down on the floor next to the whole action.
as
It
this
pierced
creature
me.
hits the side of your shoulder, go ahead and make me a dexterity saving throw to see if you can dodge before it hits.
Damn.
It manages to nick you by the side, and you take 3 points of bludgeoning damage.
Damn.
As it like cleanly knocks you almost down to your knees, but it's just enough for you. You just kind of dodge quickly out of the way before any major injury could happen to you.
Once that happens, I apologize to the Brandem and apologize to the chief or the farm representative, I guess. I can now speak with animals, right? Or no?
Yeah, if you want to cast that spell, continue casting the spell, you can.
Yeah, I will do that. Then apologize to the Brandem for um alerting it, like being since sensing danger or something. Then I would apologize to the village or the farmer chief
What do you say
or uh, to which the Brandem.
to anyone?
To the chief, I would apologize for be not being too careful with handling the thing because I didn't know that they would act that hostile towards me. Then I would also apologize to the Brandy for startling it and not being too cautious, like being too
And
familiar, I
the
guess.
creature, as you now have that spell up, I believe both of you cast this, so both of you would
Yep.
hear this just kind of call out, "Back away, demon! Back away!"
Damn, man. Uh, Jezo, did you just
I'm just
hear what I just heard?
yeah. I'm still gonna sit down. I'm not gonna like make any sudden move. I'm just gonna sit down, like sit still.
Okay, I think you should do the talking for now because they might ram at me again.
Yeah, and you can hear the creature start kind of huffing really heavily, like, "Back away, demon! Back away!"
I'm gonna like try to calm it down by like saying, it's okay. We're not demons. We heard you were hurt, and we're here to like try to help you.
I will not take help from demons. Back away.
Uh, can we do something to prove that we're not?
I've seen you. Your face looks like man, but you are a demon.
It's kind of rude. I'm a lizard. Can't do anything about this.
uh,
Hmm.
I do. Could we ask the farmer thing? Is there any way that we can do to help them calm down? Like maybe try to feed them with something, or maybe he could help us try to calm them down because seems that there's afraid of something and it's attributing it or like attributing it, I guess, and seeing us as demons. I would
That's what-
explain that to the
That's what we've been trying to figure out. We could have tried to fix their wounds up. It's by the legs, but they wouldn't let us touch them or go anywhere near them.
Could we ask for maybe their food or something? Maybe we could try giving it to them.
Of course, right away, right away. You see the old man start making his way out of the barn, and like 10 minutes pass, he comes back with a whole sack of like these food pellets, very large food pellets. In your hands, only 2 would probably fit.
Damn, that's
Just like a homebrew animal, or
This
Because
is a
I
homebrew
wanna
animal.
try. I want to try transforming into one of them.
Huh?
oh.
And let me check real quick.
And like walk away and come back as one.
Hey Jerry.
Hey Gary, you remember me?
Right. Let me see. What CR can you transform into now?
So 1/2, I think. Or
One
is it 1/4?
half.
Let me check actually.
Yeah, you can transform into it
Oh,
if it's
guys.
one
The
half.
constrictor snake.
It's a large beast.
Nah, I can do 1/4. Sag. Wait, can I do 1/2 now? I have to check. Ah!
While all this is happening and you're checking, Aldrin, what are you doing in your side of the upper ward?
I will walk into an alleyway actually and do another ultrasound if I can find one that's empty.
Yeah, without a doubt, there are several of these alleyways that are tightly nicked, like just enough for one person to fit across a very narrow alleyway. But yeah, you make it through. And what do you transform into?
I'll transform into a. Is it possible to? Is it possible to change your size? No, right? Wait, let me click it again.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that. Polymorph can do it, I believe. Including your
Decide what
height,
you look
weight.
like.
You can't transform the size. You can't turn into from a medium creature to a large creature, but you can make yourself heavier. You can make yourself taller, slightly taller, all that.
I'll transform myself into a human. Very bland-looking human with like brown hair, short brown hair, medium height, like probably 5'9", 5'10", and I try to change the way I walk into like a bit more reserved walk, I guess, instead of like my confident walk, I guess. Walk through the alleyway and change the human.
All right. As you transform into this human, can you describe more? Skin color, hair length, all that.
Brown hair, black brown I don't know, brown or black brown hair, brown skin. The eyes are just brown. Basically, I'm very plain. I'm very like I'm just like a regular human. Like the idea is to be
Anti-anime
as
protag.
inconspicuous as possible. Yeah, not hentai protag. Like just a very inconspicuous human.
All right.
NPC one.
Yes, very NPC one.
PC1.
Sure. And you come around the corner. There. What are you looking for?
I would like to snoop around at the area where I saw the elf exit or interaction. The stalker elf.
Okay. As you make your way there, you find the same thing. A small, narrow alleyway with a sign up top which you can't quite read, and a door which is currently locked with a slit enough for the eyes to see through if opened from the other side. It's currently closed, but perhaps you could do something with it.
Hmm. I am going to. Is it possible for me to tuck in my wolf's coat inside my backpack?
With how large it is, no.
If I invert it, does it look like a regular cloth?
If you invert it, the inside is very almost gray.
I'll
So,
invert it.
mhm.
If I invert it and fold it, it'll just look like a regular piece of cloth, right?
If you
Something like that.
fold it enough, there's still like a bit of fur that kind of tufts out to the left and right side, but you could probably try. Go ahead and make me a sleight of hand check.
Lord forgive me. Uh. Ooh.
It's not the best of work, but it can do. You fold it nicely enough that it's, clean. There's still like fur sticking out, stuff that you can't, fix very well with how the cloak is. But it looks decent enough to, from afar, look like common clothes.
Right. So what I do now is I find a spot that's somewhat near enough to the door that I can hear like any knocking or whatever. I stay there. I sit down. I try to put the cloth on my lap and the backpack on top, and then I start peddling.
All right.
I'm just like, for change, change, please. Change.
All right. And as time passes, about an hour or so, this is
Okay.
after the rest of
An
the
hour?
group, like maybe perhaps lesser than an hour, slightly lesser than an hour. You'd hear, several footsteps coming by the alleyway close to where you are, or just across to your left side, where you originally entered from, right here.
Okay.
You'd hear a halfling and what looks like a much deeper voice kind of follow through. So, we've had a haul of 130. You think that's good enough?
Yeah, of course, I think it's good enough. It's all right. We've done our best. We've done our part. Now, if we could just stop this complaining, we can continue through. The gang might have us hanged for being too long.
All right, I understand. But you do understand, of course, that 130 is not quite a handful.
It's a handful. Now we can continue this conversation inside, or we can stay out here and battle all day through words. I would rather not.
You see these individuals come through. One is a halfling wearing what looks like common clothes and a brown cloak over him. The other is a Goliath wearing a suit. Very fine suit. Black vest, white undershirt, long black, what do you call those? Those suit pants. And what looks like very clean brown shoes. As they make their way off towards the door, you go ahead and make me a perception for the halfling.
Question: before they do that, do they pass by the? Do they pass by the? Do they pass by me directly?
No. They come from the other side over here.
Okay.
You're like off
I
in the
will go-
left-hand corner, but you can hear off very close.
Okay.
For the halfling, you can't. You can make out the first few once again, like the elf from earlier. Very quick succession of, and then followed by things that you can't quite hear properly. Roll me a perception with advantage for the Goliath.
He's loud, isn't he? Give me a sec. How do I change this? That advantage and 3%.
Much better. You can hear this very distinct banging sound on the door. A very quick succession of 1, 2, 3, followed by a tap of 1, 2, 1, 2, then a quick succession of 4.
Are you okay with repeating it one more time?
A quick succession of 3,
Mm-hmm.
then followed by 1, 2, 1, 2, then a quick succession of 4.
Okay.
And you hear doors start to open, and a human voice from the other side of the door speaks up. You took way longer than expected, but we are waiting downstairs. And you hear several footsteps make their way to what looks like a set of stone stairs all the way down. And then the door once again closes.
All right. I'll keep that in mind. I I guess walk. I guess I stand up and walk towards one of the alleyways till I find an empty one.
All right. Yeah, you do find one. As per usual, the alleyways of this city is not quite. There's not a lot of beggars. If there are, they're like off towards the southern end of the port district.
Before I change myself back to normal, can I look around to see if there's anyone looking at me, specifically a blonde elf? Just in case.
What's your passive perception?
14.
From the looks of it, there is no one around you or looking at you where you currently are.
Then I hate doing this all the time, but like I'll put on the coat and then the spell dissipates and I walk back with the heavy stride that I have and walk towards where I think it, which I'm guessing is by here,
Where?
around here.
Oh, back to the
To
group.
the farm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll go back to Juzzo real quick and Sarah. Well, all of you are kind of, working out how to make this Brandon calm down. Eventually, you do see Aldrin kind of come by, and the same things has happened since the few minutes that you've passed trying to make this Brandon calm down. You kind of trying to feed him, trying to gesture to him to calm down. Everything seems to not work as well as you might have planned.
We could do this the forceful way and tie them.
Is something the matter? Am I here?
Yeah, at this point, yeah, you'd see them kind of near a large barn-like building.
What is going on?
This believe me or not, this Brandem here, this animal here, if you've never seen it, has our information, but we have no idea how to calm them down because they think that we're the ones that attack them. And this,
It's like it's gone rabid.
Oh, sorry.
You kill it. You straight up just extend your hand and it dies.
this village chief, I guess, or farmer chief, is asking our help to help them to cure them of their diseases or something, or illnesses, for them to get back to work, or I guess. And we have no idea how to calm them down. Almost tried everything, and I even got help.
Can I make a perception check to see what's going on with the Brandon?
Go ahead.
That's a 6.
From a general like perception with your base perception, you can see that on their legs there are what looks like scratch marks, but not small scratch marks, very far apart from each other. Like the space in between the scratches are very far apart. One is like near the Brandem's ankle, the other almost reaching all the way to his like knee, to that joint of the ankle, and right above towards the knee.
Can I try calming it down?
Careful.
How are you going to do it?
From my limited idea of animal handling, like, whoa there, girl, boy, whatever you are, calm down, relax. No,
Go
Your
ahead and make
mind.
me a straight animal handling check.
Hey, at least you did better than me.
The creature looks awfully hostile, but at this point it looks tired. Like with all the things that has been going on the past few minutes with the group, it looks like it doesn't have enough strength to stand up anymore.
can I feed one of my rations?
As you kind of reach out for one of your rations, the old man that's right beside you guys just turns towards you. Oh, no. Don't feed him that. They don't
Yo,
eat
it's
meat.
cannibalism.
Worry not, I'm quite sure I have some vegetables over here. Do I have vegetables actually? Rations are just
No.
meat, right?
I don't believe you bought any vegetables of any kind.
I mean, think about it. It's like a balanced diet, right? Eating only meat for your travels would be really bad for your health. I think
That's exactly what
I think
D&D rations are.
really.
it's protein.
They're usually meat that is salted meat that can last for a long time, or one of those like seafaring biscuits that can last for a long time.
Wait, can I
Your other option are those jarred, like preserved things, preserved rations. But at this point, that would have been already eaten through or dead.
I have a bad idea. I do this. I can I transform the thing into a vegetable, my pellet?
Ayo.
The food pellet that we have. Transform it into like a vegetable thingy. Then just give it to Aldrin.
Hmm.
Okay, this spell.
Unfortunately, I don't believe prestidigitation can illusionarily
Yeah.
change how something looks. That would be minor illusion or major illusion, I believe.
I see. I have a really bad suggestion to the group. I whisper this in a way that since we have animals speaking, I try to Elvish, I guess, since I don't think that Brandon could speak Elvish, so I will try asking Aldrin if maybe I could try casting this, and so that they won't be rowdy, I guess. We just come kill them or something, then leave.
That is a terrible idea.
I see.
The
I think we
handler
might
would
go to
probably
jail.
not-
I did my best.
What we can do is just ask the man over here. Excuse me, what is wrong with the Brandons?
Uh,
Once again, they were attacked the other, let's say 2 nights ago, along with Terrence and a few other farm hands, although Terrence was the only one that's badly injured. The
Do you
Brandon
know
were
of
attacked by
any way-
something.
Do you know of any way to calm them down?
We've tried almost everything, from water to food. They do not like the presence of man.
Turning to the hostile Brandon, I'm like, Mr. Brandon, do you understand common?
he can't.
There is no response. He just like is on the floor, like the head is on the floor, like writhing, breathing heavily. Enough that like snow gets pushed away.
Can I pat the Brandon?
Could you use your extendo arms?
No, I'm gonna use my real arm. I'm gonna lose another one.
No, that's 10,000 gold, man. No.
Go ahead and reach out.
I'm doing
and
it. I'm petting it.
roll, roll an animal handling check with disadvantage.
Oh, disadvantage. I just roll another one then.
Actually, a god.
Damn. All right. So with what little energy it can, it looks like it's about to charge you, but with it cannot even raise its head anymore. You reach down and seemingly just start to pat the creature, and you can only hear breathing, heavy breathing from it.
We don't want to hurt you.
Jozo,
We
Jozo,
need to know what's going on with you.
cast Cure Wounds to heal him first.
Yes, I will do that as well. While I say what I just said. But I'm gonna use it from my staff. Make it level 2.
All right. Go ahead and heal. Roll for the healing.
Which is this one. At level 2, which costs 2 staff points.
As soon as you start healing the creature, you watch its wounds, which at this point there seems to be the blood has actually dried up on its foot, and it starts to like close up as soon as you cast that spell. But soon thereafter, all of you would notice this with your passive perception if you don't have a lesser than 12 passive perception. You would notice the creature, the wound on that creature suddenly like reopen really fast.
Oh shh.
This is not something I can take care of. What the hell?
What kind of sorcery is this?
These are like
I-
permanent wounds. What?
I think we might need to consult this Terrence guy. Ace. Maybe
Yes.
maybe ask the chief village or the farm chief. I only have 2 questions. Who's tending the Brandim or who's in charge, and where could we find this Terrence?
The man right beside you, he points to himself as you ask that question. I take care of the Brandon, but I haven't been able to help the creature since the past 2 nights, with them being also hostile. As for Terrence, he lives in the upper ward, 3rd building down south side. And he points towards the direction of the upper ward.
Then we just tell them the result or testing or something, I guess. We tried healing them, but as soon as we did, the wounds would get cured for a moment, then it would reopen, or they would get wounded again with the same wounds. I would assume like the same.
Yeah,
The same
exact
injuries?
same injury.
They would have the same injuries back instantly as if our healing it's negating our healing, or it's not really working. And I believe that by knowing or identifying what attacked them, maybe we could also identify how to cure them. If you would give us that time, then maybe we could help you in the meantime, as long as they're still alive, I guess.
Oh yes, but do be quick. Your time is running out.
I
What's
see.
happening? Just came back.
They basically, if we try to heal them, their wounds just reopens again, the same exact thing. So we suggested that we would find this Terrence guy, who's the most recent attack, and try to figure out the source of their wounds, I guess, so
Okay.
that we could.
Okay.
While they're doing that, I'm also gonna be trying to ask this random for information about what hit it.
It begins to like heave very hard. And you watch as this creature simply turns and starts kind of turns to you with what little energy it can have left, like with its voice. Demon, back away, demon.
I'm gonna do something that probably doesn't make sense. Can I use Bear's Endurance as some sort of kind of painkiller?
You can absolutely try.
I will try that then.
And as you start casting this spell, through your staff, it seems to get a little bit of energy right back, enough for it to continue.
Demon attacked my brothers during the night by the forest.
And you watch it like heave heavily once more.
Towards the Galemore Hills, we were attacked. Wings on the night.
I'm gonna just I guess pat it until it like, I don't know, passes out or something.
You did a good job.
Indeed you have. And soon after, the Brandom would slowly once again its head would fall down onto the hay below it, and soon heaving. Heavy heaving.
Question. I understood what you're saying, right? Because I still have the script.
Yes.
So I'm
Forget
gonna
Oh,
relay that to Aldrin. Then I would ask the party. Since we know where the Brandem was attacked, do we still need to go and see Terrence, or we just try to wait the night there?
We might be able to know anything about the encounter that could help us gain an advantage.
I see. Yeah, I think that's a good idea too, because I don't have my armor with me.
More information will always be good.
Yeah. So I guess we take a leave and go to Terrence, or do we? Or what time is it? Do we rest, or is it night time now?
It is still currently. It was early morning when the whole chase scene happened. A few hours would have passed at this point. It would be around 9 in the morning now.
Alright, so I guess we proceed to go to where Terrence is.
Okay. As we're going there, I also bring up to speed in a hushed tone, of course, about what happened in my encounter with the like the place over there. I talk about how there's like a possible gang involvement. I'm not sure if it's related to the incident, but there is a gang in this place, and they're up to something. They're also spying on me at the very least, so that's worth noting.
Do you inform us about the secret knock? Question mark.
I will. Yeah, it's hard to explain it, because a knock, without doing it, and I don't want to do it in public because they might hear it. So I will do it in some other place. If we're like in the inn, I'll explain it to you guys. I'll just tell about it, and you can remind me if we're by the inn.
I see.
They were spying you.
I believe so. It was me at the very least. I'm not sure if they're spying on you guys as well.
Were
Does
they
it have-
spying on you when you were disguised?
They were not, at least to my knowledge.
Do you think they could be the
Wait,
people looking for the elves?
wait.
I was about to ask that, but my first question was, when did you go out as you, not this guy?
Wait, you're right. I remember now. I was actually stuck as my other alter ego.
The drunkard or the?
Yes,
That-
that one.
How
Do you
sure
think-
are you that?
Hmm?
How sure are you that you're the one that they're following and not some other person that you don't see?
Do you want me to try and find out?
Not at the moment.
I think we should just leave that be for a while. They probably have their guards up.
But I would like to ask what you have in mind.
We can inquire Terence about their encounter, and the rest for the evening before we make our
Right.
way for the place. Follow me.
I see. So we dismiss that and go to upper ward.
Actually,
Ward.
while you do that, I would like to do a bit more snooping if that's fine.
Right, so we're the only ones only asking for Terrence.
Yes, if that is okay with you guys. I can follow as well if you need.
Uh, as you may have not noticed, but I'm already bad with that. I don't know if I'm good with person people.
I'm not very charismatic either. I believe Jozo is the most charismatic.
I see.
wish.
I guess we're all bad.
I do not have a way with words, as it were.
You
I
have a
might
way
have.
with people. I mean, you've
You know
gotten
what?
like
I will follow you.
3
I
chicks
think-
now.
Oh wait, I do not have. I am not charismatic. I am so.
It's fine as long as you're the one talking. I think it'll be Daijobu.
Very well. So we're gonna find Terrence.
Upperward, third district building. Or something.
Yeah, and you start making your way there, and surely enough, there is a whole host of people gathering in front of a house. And from within that small house, you see a chair get thrown out of a window, just smashing past. And inside, you hear several voices just scream out, Dear gods, what's wrong with you, Terrence? And inside, you hear like a maddening like scream, an agonizing scream.
Sounds like rabies.
I guess we just. I'm running towards the scene. I don't know, but everyone
Yeah,
else.
same.
Yeah,
thing.
I would try to act as fast as possible.
We arrive and then ask the crowd, "What's happening? What's the commotion about?"
Terrence has gone mad. I don't know what's happened to him. He was sleeping the moment ago, and then now he's awake. He's gone crazy.
Can I try seeing his status, like for like seeing is he conscious, like his eyes or something?
Oh yeah, he's conscious. As you make your way towards that broken window where that chair was flung out, you see from within that area a man that's standing up, several scratch marks similar to that of the Brandom across his face, across his chest, and one near his stomach. There you can see those wounds, similar wounds. The blood has also kind of dried up at this point, but you see him with this very like agonizing expression on his eyes, like almost like he's crying all the while he's doing all of this. He's screaming left and right, like he's hitting every wall with his head. Like he gets injured the more he moves around, but he's still going at it.
I feel like this isn't really a disease, but I'll try it, I guess.
You do find that it is a kind of poison.
A question: was his status lowered or something? Like was his English common is so hard for an elf? His debuff or something? Was he cured or something? Did it lessen his aggression?
Just speak Elvish, I can understand it.
Did what lessen his aggression?
Did doing this? No, it's just detect.
It's a tech only. Yeah, it's only a tech.
Never mind. I thought it was cure. I didn't see it.
I would say that you cast this poison, and go ahead and roll me a history check to see if you know these components. I'll just tell you the components of the poison itself.
Oh, Jozo, I believe in you.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
you're the only one.
History, normal.
I
do
believe
not
in
have
you.
good brain cell.
Transform into a smarter animal.
I don't know anything about poisons.
Actually, you do. You know one small thing. Let me find that real quick. And I'll send it to you. Meanwhile, what are you guys doing?
I'm actually waiting for Jozo's response because like I'll do that based on the response.
Is this hostile toward a specific something or it's just raging? Hello?
What?
Is he hostile toward a specific something or is he just raging or like all over the place?
He's like raging, like throwing anything in front of him. He's like hitting the side of doors with his head.
Do we
then-
see the is he question based on us going up or going down, entering the building? Is he living alone?
He seems to be living alone.
But who's the woman who screamed? Is he? Do you know?
That was one of the what looks like a from with. Oh wait, are you like going inside, going up inside?
Yeah,
He's like near the door.
Oh, wait, so we can just watch from the outside.
Yeah, like I was imagining that all of you are like outside. There's a small group outside also looking through that whole situation. Unless you all want to enter.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Though.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking. Going inside to see
No,
what's.
no. I know. I was outside.
Oh.
Going inside would be dangerous because hostile.
Because I thought, they were in a room with the girl or something. Then he was like raging, so we would try to go in and maybe try to save her or something. But
I
yeah,
mean, the thing is, you don't know what's happening though, so I would personally stay outside for a bit and then wait until Juzzo makes his analysis.
Alright, so I guess since we're waiting for Juzo, never mind. I don't have the time to interview some person. It's
And
Sarah's
I-
bad habit.
Uh,
Juzo, got anything?
It might have something to do with poison. I want to check on it. Like, there's an alchemist here, right? Do alchemists do things with poison?
Menelith. Maylin. I guess she's an alchemist.
Yeah, do they
She
do
was-
things with poison? We might be able to
she
gather
was-
some information.
They
She was
should be
also
able to.
attacked, but so she might be at the same rate or something.
Ask the crowd. Is Maylene here as well? Do you know anyone?
No,
by the
she's
name?
in the upper. She's in the trading center. Trade
Well, she was
district.
injured though, right? So meaning she
Yeah.
might be in the same space as Terrence.
Yep.
Someone actually hears you as you're like having this conversation. One person like comes up to you. No. Millie's currently resting, but she was not injured.
Oh,
Do you know what
Where
Maylene is?
where can I find her?
By the wall, west side, trade district.
would it be a good idea to restrain him using my rope trick, Aldrin, so that he won't hurt any other person? But the catch is he might go sicko mode on me.
It might be a good idea for now. We will run to the district while you restrain him. Is that fine?
Alone?
I mean, do
mean,
you
that's
know what, Jozo? Do you
I'm
want me to
gonna-
go or you?
Can I try doing this?
I
I'm gonna.
I should probably go.
All right, I will stay here then.
You can try
Alright.
going. I try doing this, and if he goes sicko mode, I'm gonna run away.
Then both of us are. We can go then. Then you can handle yourself, right? You're a strong, independent elf.
With no armor, yes.
I believe in you.
I live dangerously.
All right, and as Juzzo and Aldrin, you start running off towards the alchemists. Sarah, how do you use this spell?
How is he raging out? Still like monkey mode, like
Yeah,
slamming everything down, or what?
He's going monkey mode. Yeah, exactly. He's like grabbing every chair, hitting it across the windows, across the the tables, breaking all the furniture inside.
So
Monkey mode.
gonna use the sling bag method on my bow,
Yeah, so
so that I could sheath it or something. Bring out the rope, cast the magic spell. Then the moment when the monkey mode is like up down, slam, right? The moment
Yeah.
the moment his hand is like down with this, I guess with this on his feet, like when I could try and restraining him at that moment, I guess. Do you see the picture or no?
Yes. All right. Yeah. So this happens. He starts raising his chair, slams it down on the table, and at that exact moment, you have a quick window to do whatever you can. Go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand as well as a dexterity saving throw.
Oh god, it's the worst combination of my life. Dexterity saving throw. Fog. Sleight of hand. Oh, okay. Goodbye, guys.
You rush in almost in an instant with your rope trick in hand. It seems to appear from like within just a space of air. from the outside. You pull that rope and start making your way off towards him. You manage to dodge quickly out of the way as the chair comes close to your face, when you suddenly just pull that rope around his body and you manage to restrain him.
Damn.
Damn.
Monkey mode.
With yeah. It was morbid. I had to do it. I had to do.
Morbid time.
Seas.
Alright.
But he's still like struggling like a worm, right? Like
Yeah,
you know.
he's doing like everything. He's like struggling, and this goes on for a few minutes.
I'll try to like tie him up as much as I can, but not really to hurt him, but like just to restrain him, I guess.
All right. And while you're doing that, both of you start running off towards the trade district. Eventually, you make it close enough to the walls where you can see this one large sign of a potion bottle. And there you can find Hyacinth Alchemy. And the door is wide open.
We just walk in and say, "Is there a Maylin here?"
And quickly from underneath what looks like a desk, you can see a halfling kind of pop up. Yes, that's me.
There is a
Poisons.
problem.
What do you know about poisons?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that. There's two of you speaking at once. Slow down.
Hey, Jizzle.
What do you know about poisons? There's a huge problem going on right now.
I know a whole load. We use poisons to catch some of the larger creatures here in the Everfrost. Yes.
Alright. What poison has something to do with quicksilver lichen and basilisk breath?
One that's particularly strong enough to restrain even that of a yeti.
So that means this type is watered down or something. There's some civilians and animals that's been injured by these, and I don't know how to cure it. Magic doesn't seem to do anything with it.
Well, of course, basilisk breath is a kind of dried ingredient which can reduce these sort of effects. If you want to counter that, you'd have to use some Arctic seeds. Hold on, let me look for them. You watch her just quickly look off towards the side, pull up a bunch of like small chests that are like jewelry box chests, and inside you find you see her pull up a few different kinds of things, eventually leading up to what looks like very blue seeds. She goes, a dose of this with a mix of water and hopefully nothing salt. No salt water. Simply water. A dose of this boiled. It should work.
How much can I pay for it? There's people who really need it right now.
You can come back to me afterwards. This is all done. I'm just here to help.
Yeah, cut off.
She tells you that you can come back afterwards. She'll give it to you for free for now, for help.
Alright, thank you very much. I'll be on my way. I'll be back.
As I see him like getting ready with the potion, I'm like preparing a spell. I'm already in like a sprinting position, and as soon as he's like near enough, I cast Long Strider.
Damn.
Passing the baton.
Damn.
All right, and like both of you. Wait, can you only do it once to one creature?
No, I can use it too.
Are you gonna use it for two? All right.
Yes.
You cast this spell on both of you, and you start like bolting it off to the other side. As you do, I'll just make a quick perception check.
Oh lord. Perception. It's a 9.
Oh no, it's the absolute state of rushing.
You're rushing very quickly, but you manage to catch a glimpse of several hooded figures looking into you, like looking as you're running towards that direction. One of them is that elven woman.
As I notice this, I say, Jozo, you go ahead without me.
Ah, what a chat!
Oh, what a chat. Good luck. Don't get killed.
I stop right in front of the
A woman.
the elf.
Hey.
And then I say, following me, have you?
And as soon as you stop and all of that happens, Let me pull you up to over here.
Oh lord.
Oh no. Where would we be now though?
Somewhere off screen.
Yeah, you're somewhere
Off
off
screen?
screen.
Alright. I'll just spectate
Well, my
here.
token
then.
somewhere else because I'm pretty sure it's not here, right?
I am moving you right now.
Can we just move around as spectators then?
Oh no.
I have to pull up this person. And hopefully it uploads very quickly. As you're running and quickly stop. Oh, giant.
It's like Cassie.
Yeah, exactly.
I am not
As you
here.
quickly stop there, you see several figures start kind of look off towards you from within the alleyways of the city. Most of them with weapons in hand.
Oh, that's a good sign.
Seems them not welcome around these parts.
Fang?
Oh,
It's the ghost of.
Huh, Fang?
Always haunting Aldrin. Ooh, that's
They all
that's
start
not
coming
good.
out of the woodworks from within several alleyways, seemingly there to have a quick chat with you. As that one female elf, blonde hair similar to you, turns quickly towards your direction, you seem to be poking in some certain things that we'd rather you not look into.
not my fault that you were the one stalking me.
We have to make sure that we keep tabs on every single person here, and that includes your unfortunate soul.
You're calling me unfortunate.
Ooh. Spicy.
Very spicy. You've met our friend, yes?
And
And
would that
from within this kind of alleyway, you see this man slowly walking up. Efren, come on out. Is this the right man? And you see this man kind of point off towards you. Yes, that's him. He tried to bring me back to her.
How would you notice me actually? I'll also no. Actually, I'll bring it up, RP. Have we met?
That's him, for sure. I can see through him.
I'm just saying, as I say.
I see.
Soon thereafter, you see all these people kind of start surrounding you. All the while, this will make me a perception check.
Jizzle.
Yes.
Oh, so I'm not fully away yet.
Not exactly looking back, not exactly looking forward. You're just running as fast as you can to where you remember where that person was. You do manage to catch several glimpses of people kind of watching in the opposite direction of where you're going, as this is going down quite publicly. Put your token over here.
Oh, sure.
I was like,
I just got dragged.
yeah, I got yeeted to that part of the screen. As
Wait,
they're
where did I
approaching
come
me,
from?
I'm just saying,
From
Also,
here.
Alchemist is back here.
It's an good argument, Senator.
I went
We have
here.
points. Back it up.
Yeah. As they're approaching me, I'll just say like, "You're making a big mistake, provoking someone like me."
I go.
Yo.
I made it the fuck up.
Answer this quick, or else we'll have to do something drastic.
Go ahead.
Do you work for a certain drow elf who lives within the mountains near Galemore?
Work for? No.
Acquainted with?
Acquainted? Yes.
Why are you helping this murderer?
Did I say I was helping her? You can ask your friend over here, who I'm quite sure is not his real face, that I wasn't doing anything rash. I was asking questions merely, and he proceeded to run away. It was quite rude, to be frank.
I swear of it, he tried to kill me. This man right here tried to kill me.
You really want to go there?
It seems as though one of you is telling a lie and one is telling the truth.
Does
I don't know
anyone
which
here
one
have
I'm
any
inclined
spells?
to.
Any spells to prove my truth?
You watch the elf kind of turn towards the man beside her, then quickly towards the rest of the group, and none of them seem to nod.
I guess it is a matter of he said, she said. Well, if there's nothing else, I will be on my way.
Now, wait a quick moment. We still haven't had a chat. You seem to look exactly like that figure that we were paid a handsome fee to find and dispatch.
Oh, I must be quite popular around these parts. May I know your generous benefactor's name?
Now, why would I tell you that?
I mean, if I'm going to die, I might as well know my killer.
Ah, well then. Perhaps I'll leave it as last words. Boys, weapons out, please. And you watch all of them start to pull out their scimitars, their daggers, everything that they have in hand.
As they're doing that, I dash. That.
Let me turn this back into a normal size. How
Yeah,
far can
'cause
you
like-
run?
I have long strider, so the dash is 80 feet.
5 feet. There you go. Go ahead.
I run past. I run right to Aldrin. Not Aldrin, the Juzzo.
You're messing with the wrong guy. Sprints
Here.
away.
We got company. Oh shit! Run!
As you come around the bend, several more people start making their way across. Oh, that's not supposed to be there. Several more people come their way across to over here and seemingly block the path.
As I'm running, I'm screaming, "Guards! Guards! Are there any guards?"
No honor. What?
I want to live.
You have
All his
chosen to fight
confidence
the
went
wrong.
away.
That's what you call a bluff, my friend. I'm all bark, no bite.
Alright,
You
so
see
this
my
is-
muscles.
This
we
is
should
what
probably roll
happens.
initiative,
It's all appearances.
Yeah, go ahead and roll initiative for me as this is happening. But this is exactly
Wait.
what happens. You start screaming out guards. All the civilians around you are like panicking. They don't know exactly what to do. A whole group of guards are like start making their way off towards this direction. A group of 8 almost. Let me see if I put that token number right. Oh,
Do I see the guards as I'm running?
6. Yeah, you see this just about as you turn the corner. You see several guards start making their way over here, and you notice something. This particular person nods quickly towards the guards, whom immediately disperse as if they seen nothing.
Uh-oh. You messed
No
with the wrong
escaping this
person.
city, friend. You've gone far too deep. And now, we either silence you or we can talk somewhere more formal.
Do you guarantee the safety of my comrades?
Oh, but of course, you and this lizard can come along with. So why don't you follow us peacefully and we can end this conversation over a nice brandy, let's say a nice Quicksilver brandy.
Could you at least deliver the antidote to Terrence? He's quite possibly going to die very soon.
Oh, you can worry a bit less about Terrence and more about yourselves. We'll handle
I'm
the
gonna, like-
situation.
I
I'm
will
gonna
go
whisper to Aldrain. Should I do the thing?
I don't think that we have a choice at this point. We should go with him.
You know, we could always just, fog cloud.
I would rather not. I would rather not smell your fog again. You can leave if you want. I will stay here.
I'm gonna shout at them now. Would you mind if I pass through? I have nothing to do with this elf guy.
Oh, no acquaintance at all.
Zero. I do not know his name.
This guy.
Well then, we were only tasked to look for certain elves. You may pass.
Okay.
Why am I hesitating?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
What? I'm sorry, my friend.
Mm.
This guy saved your life, bro. 10,000 gold in your hand.
I do a quick nod. So you can go.
You don't know him.
Mm. Why are you nodding at me? I don't know you. This is as far as we can go for now.
just booked it. And one of these guys kind of turn towards you and gives you a nod. Good choice. And start making their way off towards Aldrin, whisking him off into one particular alleyway with a large sign and a closed door with a slit enough for the eyes to see through if you opened it on the other side. That is where we end our session for today. We will continue next week, as whatever happens with this campaign will continue from there.
I don't know this man.
With that being said, I hope you guys had fun. Questions, comments, concerns?
Nothing. I'm just chilling, waiting for the antidote or something.
Yeah, Sarah has no idea what's going on right
Bro,
now.
that's unfair. How the fuck did that changeling know who I was, man?
It's probably innate.
Let's say that he has an ability.
Oh,
Probably that's why he was experimental in the first place.
yo, good thing you didn't. I wasn't mentioned or something though. I think
True that.
for the meantime, I guess.
I wanted to continue this. Actually, I tried to slow this session down as much as possible because we might need Edros for the next part.
If it's just the
understandable.
interrogation scene, you can continue it. Like that way, we can tie up that plot point for.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
pretty important that everyone can make it though for this part.
But
For the interrogation,
Yeah,
even though it's
yeah.
just me who's part
yeah,
of it.
but they won't hear it though, right? We won't hear it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll
then-
be.
Edris can watch the vlog.
Let's just say he doesn't watch that. Don't worry.
Come
Who,
on.
who watches
He's
that? It's like
probably
3
just gonna, he's probably just gonna browse like Twitter or something while it's my part anyways.
Yeah,
It's probably
it's fine.
public execution or something.
It's already 11:50 anyways. We only have like 10 minutes before 12 a.m. So I'd rather end this early. With that though being said, we can continue next time with what happens exactly with our elven friend. And just to quick note with the other group, earlier this morning they were asking about in character they used a spell, the connecting spell, to ask if there's been any progress with the mana steal stuff. So you can reply to them in general RP chat with that.
What,
I'll say that
what
this
this-
happened
there-
before all this happened.
Because I
There
wanted to say,
is
like,
help.
Aldrin's kind of kidnapped right now.
Just say this.
I'm sorry, kind of kidnapped right now. I'll be right back.
Just say
How about 12:30 your time?
Just give me a quick moment, you know. Let me find some time in my schedule. If I can make it out alive, you know.
Yeah. I'll say that. Yeah, this happened before you got tied up or
But then how
caught
do
up
we
with
know?
these groups.
Because like I would have said like we are proceeding apace, but then like minutes late, like hours later, I'm kidnapped. I kind of feels bad though, because like they're getting
last online 5 years ago.
Oh, sad.
No. It's all right as long as this would have been before that. I would have said this earlier as well. I just kind of forgot. It slipped my mind.
Yeah, to start.
But yeah.
Or could we have like said like we waited for a bit before we replied, and then after Aldrin get kidnapped, Jozo can like inform them and then be like, oh, by the way, your blacksmith is kidnapped.
Yeah, sure. You can do that. Yeah.
Right. So if you could do the message, Jozo, then, because like technically I can't make it.
Yeah, I don't know
Asim,
anything.
your man has been taken.
We already disowned him.
There has
Disowned
been
him
a
now.
slight order with delay with your order. Please, please wait. Here's a voucher. Here's a coupon for voucher for 10% off.
Here's your voucher to pick this up within the next few years. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the session. I hope you guys had fun, and I will see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Bye bye.
GG.